It's no secret that Overwatch was created from the ashes of the failed MMO concept Project Titan. This game began its development in 2007, but was officially cancelled in the summer of 2013. However, not all was lost, as many of the character concepts and abilities share a striking resemblance to those in modern-day Overwatch. Looking at this picture, you can identify almost all characters, with one exception in the juggernaut. That being said, there are plenty of characters featuring in the concept art that bear zero resemblance to modern-day Overwatch. So, given Blizzard's track record of implementing many of the original concepts, could we see some of these characters reformatted and enter the game? It is clear to see that the art style was adapted to suit a wider audience, so many of these characters will likely need some adapting. Here is an image of some of the original concepts. Again, you can pull out many modern-day Overwatch heroes, including Reaper, Mercy, Symmetra, Echo, and even the original Hanzo, which you may not know started life as what we would now know as Genji, but was ultimately split into the two Shimada brothers, creating a new bow-wielding Hanzo. Again, there are plenty of character concepts here that don't share any resemblance to modern-day Overwatch, so let's take a peek and see who we're missing. Let's start with Firestarter, as we don't have any fire-wielding characters in the game thus far. The closest would perhaps be Torbjorn, whose primary weapon was perhaps influenced by Firestarter, as he has the slag gun. While Torb actually had in Titan a gravity hammer, I'm confused. They also had Molotovs, which is relatively ubiquitous across games as an AoE denial ability, and Eruption, which to me sounds like another AoE denial ability similar to that of the current Ram ult, but you could also build in a charge time similar to D.Va's ult where damage progressively increases. On to Huntress. Now, we already have a bow-wielding character in Overwatch, but a crossbow offers an interesting alternative. If I'm honest, this concept was probably ripped straight from Diablo, as their Demon Hunter also has a multi-shot ability. Speaking of which, multi-shot sounds like it would fan out, similar to Genji's right click, or perhaps it may be the return of Scattershot. Are there any Scattershot fans out there? And Imbued Shot sounds like a simple higher damage ability. I suspect Huntress's kit was ultimately merged with the current Hanzo and Genji combination. Next up, Rashi, a character whose concept differs greatly from anything we've seen thus far. It's fair to say their aesthetic could fit in with the Helix security characters like Pharah, though their abilities are somewhat ambiguous, featuring a generic damage beam and strike, which to me would lend itself either to a tank or DPS character, especially if you consider their armour. But then they have mass heal. Could this be an early influence on Briggs' kit? Regardless, I like the idea of building out the Helix security team. The last character I'll focus on in this video is McLeod, who I suspect has drawn inspiration from William Wallace, a famous claymore-wielding Scottish figure. That is Claymore in the two-handed sword sense, not mine. So no surprises what their weapon is here. The only one ability could go anywhere, though if I were to speculate, this would be provide a buff if there were no allies within their radius, making them a super dive heavy character similar to Bull's adaptive shield. Stampede sounds similar to Ryan's charge, or even Bob's initial charge, dealing damage to enemies they make contact with. So to conclude, it's plain to see that many characters added to the game, including those done recently like Echo, drew inspiration from the failed Project Titan. So it is a definite possibility that we will see more trickling through into the game. However, there are still plenty of characters out there that I haven't featured in this video, including Jetpack Cat. So like this video if you would like a part 2.